Today we are starting a chapter from Vista's book Supplementary Reader. And the name of the chapter is The Enemy. Now The Enemy is by Pearl S. Buck. So let me tell you first of all about the author, that Pearl S. Buck. He was born in 1892, died in 1973. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1932 for her novel The Good Earth. She won a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1938. She continued to write prolifically thereafter, choosing China as a setting for the majority of her work. Concurrent with her writing career, Buck was active in humanitarian efforts to protect Asian Americans against racial intolerance by increasing awareness. Now, let us discuss about the outline of the chapter. First of all, I would like to tell you the story, that is The Enemy, has been set at the time of the World War II. Japan was at war with America, and an American prisoner of war gets washed away to the doorstep of a Japanese doctor, Sadao Hoki. The choice is very hard for Dr. Sadao and his wife. Should they hand him over to the police or save him from dying? Being a doctor, Sadao gives top priority to save the life of a dying man. Not only does he save him, but also helps him in escaping to freedom. Here, in this story, once again I am telling you, it is a heart-rending portrayal of the conflict between a man's head and heart. Dr. Sadao was torn or was in dilemma between his duty as a doctor and as a patriotic Japanese. His heart tells him to save the prisoner, while his mind is fighting to turn him over to the police. It is difficult choice to decide whether one should allow oneself to be governed by emotion or by reason. Now, about the characters I will discuss. Now let us start with the characters of the story. The characters are Dr. Sadao, Hana, Tom, the general. Now what Dr. Sadao, he is an accomplished surgeon who resolves successfully the conflict between his patriotic duty and his duty to save the life of people. Hana, Sadao's wife, who helps her husband in operating on the American despite her physical discomfort. Tom, the American, he is a typical American soldier, thinking that most Japanese are cruel and not humane. The general, he is a selfish old man, only wanting Sadao to make him recover from his illness. Now, let me tell you some more about the summary of the chapter as it goes. Dr. Sadao Hoki, he was a Japanese surgeon and he was an accomplished scientist. He lived in a house on the Japanese coast. The house was set upon rocks above a narrow beach surrounded by pine tree. As a child, Sadao used to climb these trees. He often visited the South Sea Islands with his father. His father believed that the islands were a stepping stone to Japan's future to gain perfection. Sadao's father was a very serious and traditional man. He never joked or played with him, but took infinite pains for his son. Sadao's education was his father's chief concern. He even sent Sadao to America to complete his studies. Sadau's father inculcated in him values of patriotism and national loyalty when the latter was quite young, and Sadao had always cherished these great virtues. The Second World War started, but Sadao was not sent with the troops because he was about to make a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. Also, the general, who was very old, was being treated by Sadao and he might require an operation any time. Now, next we come to the next part. Sadao had met Hana in America. Where did Sadao? How Sadao and Hana came in contact and how they were married. Sadao met Hana in America, but he had waited until he was sure that she was Japanese before deciding to marry her. His father would never have approved of her otherwise. Sadao recalled that his meeting with Hana was an accident. Sadao lived in Professor Harley's house and had almost not gone to Professor's house that night, where he met Hana, a new student. After Sadao and Hana had finished their studies, they came home to Japan. The marriage was solemnized in the traditional Japanese way, according to his father's wish. They were happy couple. Now, how was the prisoner? He came on the coast. One night, Sadao and Hana were enjoying the view of the sea from their veranda when they saw something black coming out of the mist. It was a man. He staggered a few steps and then the mist hid him again. When they saw him again, he was crawling. Sadao thought that he was a fisherman washed ashore from his boat. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. The man might be badly hurt. They found the man wounded. Hana realized that it was a white man. The fellow was young and unconscious. The man was bleeding profusely. Sadao saw that a bullet wound had reopened. Sadao packed the wound with sea moss. The man moaned with pain, but he did not awaken. Sadao wanted to throw the man back into the sea, as he had now realized that he was an American prisoner of war. Hana also agreed. Sadao knew that giving shelter to the enemy would get them into trouble. He was torn between his moral duty as a doctor, which urged him to save the dying man, and his national duty, which required handing him over to the army as a patriot. Both Hana and Sadao finally decided to take the man home, as he was in need of urgent medical attention. Now, how the servants, after the prisoner was traced and he was taken in the house, what was the reaction of the servants at that time? Now, the servants, they decided that both of them, Hana and Sadao, decided to tell the servants about this happening. They would tell them that they intended to hand over to the police. The man had been starved for a long time and he was light as a fowl. They carried him to Sadao's father's bedroom, as his father was no longer alive. The old man had never allowed a foreign object in his room. The American was very dirty and needed to be washed. Hana said that Yumi, the governess, might wash her. She went to fetch her. When she returned to the kitchen, she found the other two servants frightened at what Sadao had told them. The servant tried to convince Sadao that he must hand over the enemy to the police. Yumi refused to wash the American and Hana had to wash him herself. How Sadao saves the life of an enemy. Now children, I am going to tell you how he saved the life of an enemy. Sadao was ready to operate. He was completely absorbed in his work. He told Hana that she would need to give anesthetic to the man. Hana probably had never seen an operation and started vomiting. Sadao was irritable and impatient with his enemy, as he was not able to help Hana in her distress. The man groaned with pain. Interestingly enough, Hana was able to assist her husband In the operation, Hana noticed deep red scars on the neck of their enemy. She wondered if the war tortured stories she had heard were actually true. She recalled that General Takima was a ruthless man who didn't even spare his wife. Sadao murmured while operating, as was his habit. He called the enemy his friend. Sadao finally succeeded in taking the bullet out. He was sure that the man would live in spite of his suffering. So, children, here I have given you, I have discussed you the summary of the chapter, a part of the summary of the chapter, because this chapter is very long. What points again I repeat I have discussed? I have discussed Dr. Sadao Hoki and his traditional father. Then I discussed Sadao met Hana in America, waited for his father's consent to marry her. Then the prisoner is washed ashore. The servants, what was the reaction of the servant. Then how Sadao saved the enemy life. Thank you, children. The one animated animation based on this chapter I am going to show you.
मेरा नाम है डॉक्टर सदाओ। मैं एक जापानीज हूँ। मेरा घर जापान के एक आइलैंड पे था। ये घर पूरे जापानीज स्टाइल में एक बड़े से रॉक के ऊपर बनाया गया था। मेरा पूरा बचपन इसी आइलैंड पे गुजरा। यहाँ के पेड़ों पे मैं बचपन में चढ़ा करता था, यहीं मैं खेला करता था। मुझे आज भी याद है, मेरे डैड हमेशा मुझे एक आइलैंड पे ले जाया करते थे और मुझसे कहते थे, बेटा बेटा ये जो जगह है ना, ये जापान का फ्यूचर डिसाइड करेगा। और मैं उनसे हमेशा पूछता कि डैड ये फ्यूचर कहाँ जाएगा? मुझे क्या पता बेटा, लेकिन फ्यूचर का और कामयाबी का कोई ठिकाना नहीं होता। तुम जितना उसे सोचोगे वो उतना ही बड़ा होगा। ये बात मेरे जहन में हमेशा के लिए रही कि इंसान का फ्यूचर की कोई लिमिटेशन नहीं होती। आप जितना बड़ा सोचोगे आपका फ्यूचर उतना ही बड़ा होगा। मेरे डैड काफी एम्बिशियस पर्सन थे, इसलिए मैंने अपनी लाइफ में वही किया जो मेरे डैड ने कहा। ऐसा नहीं था कि मेरे डैड बहुत फ्रेंडली थे, ना, बिल्कुल ना। इवन वो तो मेरे साथ खेलते भी नहीं थे, लेकिन मैंने कभी इस चीज की कंप्लेन नहीं की, क्योंकि वो एक बहुत ही हार्ड वर्किंग इंसान थे। आज मैं जो कुछ भी हूँ उनकी वजह से ही। उनका ही सपना था कि मैं एक दिन बहुत बड़ा डॉक्टर बनूं। इसलिए उन्होंने मुझे 22 साल की उम्र में अमेरिका भेज दिया ताकि मैं वहाँ डॉक्टरी की पढ़ाई कर सकूं। और आपको पता है, जब मैं 30 साल का हो गया तो मैं वहाँ से वापस आया, जापान वापस आया, और फाइनली मैंने उनका सपना पूरा कर दिया। मेरे डैड शुरू से ही ये चाहते थे कि मैं जापान का नंबर 1 सर्जन बनूं, तो उनके इस दुनिया को छोड़ के जाने से पहले मैं जापान का नंबर 1 सर्जन और साइंटिस्ट भी था। अब आप सोचोगे कि साइंटिस्ट कैसे यार? तो मैं आपको बता दूं, मैं एक खोज कर रहा था कि किसी भी इंसान की चोट को पूरी तरीके से कैसे ठीक किया जा सकता है। आज जापान वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 में फंसा हुआ है। इस वक्त इस खोज का सफल बनना अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी होगी जापान के लिए। अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि अच्छा, अगर वर्ल्ड वॉर चल रहा है तो मेरा काम बैटलफील्ड में आर्मी के साथ है, तो मैं यहाँ क्या कर रहा हूँ? तो मैं आपको बता दूं, इसके 2 रीजन है। पहला ये कि अगर मैं बैटलफील्ड में गया आर्मी की हेल्प करने के लिए, तो मैं यहाँ पे रह के ये खोज जारी नहीं रख सकता। और दूसरा रीजन है जापान का जनरल। हाँ जी, जापान का आर्मी का जनरल, उसको हार्ट की प्रॉब्लम है और वो काफी बीमार रहता है और उसको हर वक्त सर्जरी की जरूरत पड़ती है। इसीलिए ये दोनों काम के लिए मुझे जापान में रखा गया। खैर, मैं भी किन बातों में लग गया। मैं अपने आइलैंड के बारे में बता रहा था। कितना ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस है ना यार ये। इमेजिन करो, हर जगह ये आइलैंड जिसपे मेरा घर है, और घर के चारों तरफ एक ब्यूटीफुल गार्डन, गार्डन के आगे इतना बड़ा समुद्र। क्या बात। और आजकल तो समुद्र के ऊपर काले बादल भी नजर आते हैं, और शाम के टाइम यहाँ पे फॉग भी काफी पड़ती है। शाम में ठंडी ठंडी हवाएं, ये फॉग, ओए होए क्या नजारा होता है यार ये। मैं रोज शाम को इस नज़ारे को देखने के लिए अपने घर के बाहर खड़ा हो जाता हूँ और तब तक देखता हूँ जब तक समुंदर से आती फॉग मेरे घर तक ना आ जाए। और जब ये फॉग मेरे घर पे आ जाती है तो मैं अपने घर के अंदर अपनी वाइफ हाना और अपने 2 बच्चों के पास चला जाता हूँ। मेरी लाइफ बहुत सुकून भरी लाइफ है। चलो यार, आज की साइम इन सब बातों में चली गई। चले अंदर चलते हैं अपनी प्यारी फैमिली के पास। लेकिन जैसे ही मैं अंदर जाने वाला होता हूँ, मेरी वाइफ हाना घर से बाहर निकलती है। उसकी कितनी प्यारी आंखें हैं ना यार। वो उसी आंखों से मेरी तरफ देखती है और स्माइल करती है और बिना कुछ बोले मेरा हाथ पकड़ लेती है और मेरे ही तरह सामने बाहर की तरफ, समुद्र की तरफ देखने लग जाती है। और क्या चाहिए यार इस लाइफ से।